Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 25C of the Truth Table. We're going to talk about rainwater, what's in it, and what does it imply? What are the implications? Right after this. Now, one thing I forgot to do is change the date on that video, but that's okay. We're very forgiving at the Truth Table. My brother Gawit to the table. I hope
Welcome.
everyone finds their chairs comfortable.
Yes, yes. We
Yes.
see. Um, just want to make sure we see the flag of the truth.
Yes. So
um,
this
yes, brother. Yeah, you got that list. You got that list. Let me. Can I start with my usual way, please?
absolutely.
Brothers and sisters, I carry myself in a traditional way, in a good way. I walk with spirit. My heart is my guide. So, tobacco down, sacred medicine, and prayers up. Creator, listen up to us. Let us speak in a good way, in a truthful and an honest and a selfless way. Let us speak our truth right from our heart, where great spirit resides. That intuition, that sixth sense within that always knows right from wrong. Let us come in a good way with respect and speak from our hearts. Thank you, Great Spirit, for the opportunity to be here in a good way. Hi, hi. Love out to the four winds. All right, let's talk some truth. Tobacco down, prayers up.
Yes, sir. So we've done this. This will be our third part. We've gone over all the ingredients that were found, and there's no updated lists. I think there
Yes.
is. I think
Well,
there's a
brother.
site,
Yeah.
but at least I was able to analyze this list and what they all imply. Like the aluminum is the highest one, 3,090 parts per million. But aluminum affects our DNA's ability to heal itself or to repair itself, and
Yeah.
that's so disturbing. That bothers me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of the plan. They are sabotaging our DNA with many things. The jobs too. We're gonna connect it all actually also to the herbicide, glyphosate herbicide they spray our farmers' fields with.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
ties in also with what's within the jobs, because
yeah, yeah,
very 80% of the ingredients that is in the rain that was tested in three separate labs 4 days after dry weather and when it rains, that rain was collected and brought to three different labs. 80% of those components in it, in that test, are the same ones that are in the vaccines. Exactly. Um, and I don't care really if we are supposed to say the word vaccine or not. I really am done with people, trying to twist my tongue. You know what I mean? 1 second, I have to put something on my around my neck.
Yes, 2024, the year of the truth. So correct. Thanks for joining us, Donald. We appreciate participation here because I see everyone as a family. We're like family, and we think of everyone as family, and it's the only way to really approach this thing. Oh, lithium in this stuff is an
Yes,
antipsychotic. Now, the prescription for lithium is 600 parts per million. So this is almost, this is 500. And in
do
the
you know?
ground, the Earth's crust has 20 parts per million. So you add the 500, that's 527 with just those two elements together.
Oh,
So,
do
so
you
that's
know
a
the music?
dose.
The music's playing while you're talking.
Oh, is it affecting the sound? There we
No,
go.
it's just yeah. You can hear you
It's
properly
loud.
now without the music.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is what they give people who are bipolar,
Oh
uh,
yeah. I actually
lithium.
know some people. I know some people that were put on this prescription,
Hmm.
and they tried to put me on it too, as they thought I am psychotic at one point as well. I was put on Seroquel, an antipsychotic as well, by court order, because I talk to things that do not exist, that I do not see. You know what I mean? God, Creator, and so on. Um,
Wow.
and and during I had an argument with authorities because of who I am, and I ended up having a scrap with six of them, right? And I ended up in a in a hospital for the mentally insane, and
Hmm.
they found me mentally insane there, and they wanted to put me on lithium. So, and then I got a bit familiar with it. Yes, it's a very heavy sedative, psychotic. I ended up on Seroquel, and I ran to British Columbia because everything is provincial in this country, and the doctors here know who I am. They know I'm not psychotic. Took me off it long ago, and I get to live free. But lithium, I know people who are on it. They walk around like zombies, brother, like zombies.
Yeah.
It is a horrible, powerful drug that doesn't belong in a human body. By the way, zero of all these things on the list belong in a human body.
Yeah. So they're basically giving us
Except for
lithium.
sulfate. Only sulfate is
Well,
okay. And you were going one by one,
yeah.
getting into them. Do you want to continue after lithium?
Yeah. After lithium, we have barium, which causes hypertension, which is the
Oh,
opposite of the lithium. So they've got conflicting ingredients here. One that
very
gives you
crazy.
hypertension and one that
It's
does.
like a cocktail. It's like a mad cocktail.
It is scientifically. I mean, to me, it. They are drugging people. They're
Oh yeah.
doing it daily, every time they spray. Plus, this is 2 years ago, so they may have upped the ingredients, adjusted the ingredients. Um, but it's pretty startling to me. A lot of it, like the zinc, causes nausea, vomit, stomach pain, diarrhea, flu-like symptoms. There you go with the flu-like symptoms. So there, people will be lining up for their needles because they have flu-like symptoms. So you see how this is all, and the copper causes kidney failure, headaches, Wilson's disease, liver disease, hepatitis, Hodgkin lymphoma, brain, breast, liver cancer, and diabetes. I mean, that's a big, long list of problems
Yeah.
with one of the just one ingredient.
Yes. So did you list them all from this list?
Yep,
So
yep,
yeah. So aluminium is also found in the booster shots. So is
yep,
barium. So is mercury. What is in the jobs, actually, just from the top of my head? Countless mRNAs, nanotech and microtech technology,
yes,
barium, cobalt, cesium, barium, aluminium, uh, silicone, um, mercury, iron, graphite oxide.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is a slow killer. It will kill you. And that's all in the water, in the vegetation, and the air we breathe. Now, I'll tell you something. When I came to this island 22 plus years ago, there was already people talking about the chemtrails all the time. There's people who have in their backyards these copper and crystal from crystals and copper structures, different towers, supposedly to protect them from these chemtrails. And I remember back then it was all conspiracy. We didn't want to hear about it, talk about it. Now, sure enough, because now they found a bigger use for it, because it goes along with the agenda, the WF agenda and the pandemic agenda. Because back then, they used to just conduct experiments. They would spray the skies over a certain region and community. Then that community would all go to the same doctor clinic, and they would get tested, and the government would get to those tests, and then they would, they basically we would be lab rats. They used to
Yeah.
only do it for those reasons, but it's all evolved. And now, glyphosate, herbicide, glyphosate, bro. Uh, that's what they spray our farmers' fields with to kill weeds. And I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, Trudeau cut the farmers' fertilizer by 30%, 30% cap on their fertilizers, causing them to produce less.
Yep.
And in the same time, um, it would take more work to produce, and everything ends up costing more because of that. And we're underproduced. First thing,
Hmm.
but he was okay. Trudeau was okay with cutting their fertilizer, but leaving them with that glyphosate herbicide, spraying the fields with that. He kept on doing it, and that causes cancer and Parkinson's disease. And farmers are now rising with court cases about this glyphosate herbicide, and there's Ranger Pro, and I forget the other one, what it's called, Monsanto and Ranger
Oh yeah.
Pro,
Yeah.
Monsanto product. And now that has been also discovered in our human food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recently, I saw a test online, uh, which was live. A scientist conducted it live on purpose. So you could see, with a simple microscope, she took a sample of Pepsi from a can, and there was nanotech particles in it. So now it's known in the public that there is nanotech in Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Who knows for how long? Thank God I quit that stuff long
I
ago.
yeah. I quit too as
But
soon as I found out.
just recently I'm watching, like, talking to people on a live, for example, and they're sipping Pepsi. I'm like, oh, dude, shit. I mean, I used to love Pepsi too. I was a Pepsi guy, never a Coca-Cola guy. Um, but still, that is, they, like Trudeau said, if you don't want to obey, you will obey. I remember him saying that, and that's what he meant. It will be put in your food, in your water, in the chemtrails. Now, we've seen a few videos of people actually busting these planes loaded with those chemtrail, you know, loaded, ready to go and spray. Um,
It's a, yeah, it's a crime against humanity because we don't have a say. There's no consent. There's no transparency. It's being done
totally.
clandestinely because they can always change the products. And but like all the let's see, cadmium, lead, silver, sulfate, silica, all of these ones affect your breathing, your lungs, your throat irritation. It's all lungs, respiratory, lungs. All of the bottom ones, the sulfate, the silver, the sulfate, the silica, and the mercury. Well, those
Soft,
three are
soft
all
metal.
harmful to the lungs.
And now also, I've also seen a guy also, and I got a magnet. I'm gonna test it when it stops raining. He just went across the ground with a magnet after chemtrails caused rain again. or after just chemtrails just fell, just chemtrails on a dry day, you always see them. Before those chemtrails turn into clouds and cover a whole sky, all these particles separate and fall down. When you zoom in on those chemtrails, once they expand, what actually you see is something falling down, going slowly down, and the upper part stays at the same. It's not
Yep.
separating. Something's coming down, and that
Yeah.
is all that stuff. So I saw a guy with a magnet collected a whole bunch of graphite oxide, so soft metals, to poison us all. You know,
Yep.
another way they do that is I heard recently a man speak from a Mohawk reserve in Canada. It's time to expose that as well. That all the reserves and the government housing communities have lead piping for their water pipes
Yeah.
for all
Yeah.
the water systems that run through into their homes. It's all done with lead piping, cheap, 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 and all of that causes lead poisoning. Now, this guy is lead poisoning. He's gonna die soon, and who knows how many people have lead piping running into their house. You know, rich people have special lining for those pipes, but reserves and government housing communities have lead pipes, which cause lead poisoning. You're not supposed to use them for water.
You know
Yeah.
what you know what it shows me? It shows me that the creator didn't mess around with us. We're so powerful that they have to poison us daily, and it's still not killing us.
Oh yeah, our systems are so strong, and some of us, especially, that we flush it out. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm constantly poisoned with something, like my water, for example. I had suspected. I took pictures and videos of what floats on top of my tap water.
Yeah.
I made it public because I noticed one morning that in my water glass there's stuff floating on top, and it's forming sort of like a chemical or an oil that doesn't bind with water. But I took it off because I don't want my landlord to get in trouble. And also, it's known that we have, through our wells and our piping systems, we have iron, buildup of iron and iron bacteria, a specific iron bacteria in the water, and we need to use special filtration in order to drink it. So before I properly test it, I don't want to make anything public and be like, oh, it's the chemtrails. If it's only going to be, for example, in my case, iron bacteria, which is still no good. I have to do something about it. But people have been, even people, um, professionals have been warning people that wells should be now covered with special covers and have filters, special filters. Same with rainwater collecting, and even now people who have gardens, and I have two. They have plastic roofing or greenhouses built around it so that the rainwater doesn't fall on them. First of all, a lot of
Yeah.
plants don't like the rain to fall onto them. They like to be watered just at the roots, at the bottom. They don't like the water to fall on them, so they have to be covered. But it is no longer healthy to leave your gardens out because if you test your vegetables, they'll also have all that stuff that we have on this list. No, the air we breathe, the vegetation, the water we drink, the medications, the food, they're all altered with uh, Monsanto glyphosate herbicides. They all have nanotech in them and stuff like barium, cesium, cobalt, and graphite oxide. Also,
Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl,
I
you
don't
make a
know.
good point.
Did you
Cheryl
know
made
also that the jabs with the nanotech that they managed to put into a liquid to weaponizing injections, that nanotech, which people when after injections people have tested, have put their hands or legs against the black light, and you can see the white blood clots, the worms from those injections. I'm sure you've seen those videos many times. So
Hmm.
those injections, that cause these blood clots inside, um, they actually have an antenna. That nanotech injection has an antenna in it. And what for? 5G towers. The 5G towers is what can activate that nanotech within you.
Yes,
So
yes,
just like all AI creations,
yep,
and nanotech being one of them, um, um, that's that's insane. That 5G towers are rising everywhere, and there's warning signs on them saying, there is birds attacking them. Why? And dying because of it. It's like crashing into a metal wall. Birds are attacking it because it's hurting them, and frequencies. It's like uh, microwave frequencies. The birds and animals are reacting to it, attacking the towers because
I
it's killing
saw.
them. It's driving them mad.
Yeah,
And that's what it's doing to us silently.
yep.
And whenever they want to, they can activate whatever Starlink or
Hmm.
whatever stuff they put in the sky. All these robots and AI technology and nanotech technology that's within people. That reminds me of that movie, the where they all go off and start. It's legal to kill people for one night. It's a fictional movie. I forget what it's called, but it's legal for people to go and murder
Oh
for one
yeah,
night. The purge,
uh,
the
the
purge.
perch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that nanotech is activated through that little antenna within, through 5G towers, people will go mad.
Well, the thing about the 5G, it's a, the mRNA is DoD, Department of Defense. DARPA. They're the ones that it's their technology. Canada helped too with lipid nanoparticles. But this stuff self-replicates, and like Cheryl said, a lot of the chemicals, like even toothpaste, are attacking the pineal gland, which is our third eye, our radar with our connection, spiritual connection to
Yes,
to God, and they definitely don't want us connected to our Creator, you know.
that's
And
that's part of their agenda. Yes.
yeah, but they know the science. They're using the science. The chemtrails is very scientifically well thought out, and this is why they don't want a lot of places in the states to collect water because they don't want them finding out what's going on because it'll basically expose kind of what we're doing right now. We're
Yeah,
exposing.
but you gotta figure why. Like for 20 over years, people here were talking about it. Nobody listened, and now it's
Mhm.
all out in the open. Every day you see new releases and information on how it's all real, and that they're still doing it every day. I watch
Yeah,
it.
it's too late to do anything
And those
about it.
5G towers keep going up everywhere, and
Yeah,
biometric
yeah,
cameras and stuff. And 15 and smart cities are being set up. And fires are burning sort of maybe to make space for that, to chase people into them maybe. And land grabs. There
yeah,
is an agenda still going on. Don't Let's not forget that the 2030 agenda of the WF is still ongoing, just like the United Nations agenda, which coincides with it all. If you ever looked into the liberal NDP or conservative agendas, if they are elected, if you look, it is like Albert Pike, and long ago, basically an agenda of destroying humanity, pure destruction to take over, to be
yeah,
in power. And they have technology now to create hybrid beings that they don't have to breathe this air to survive. They don't need food and water to live.
yeah. They don't want people looking up. They want them looking in their phones like zombies.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they have us doing so pretty much all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. This is very
They have
well planned.
they make it easy for us these smartphones for a reason, so that we separate from all other devices. and only stay on
Yeah.
this one. Like I used to do my banking somewhere else. I used to do my email somewhere else. I used to do chat with people somewhere else. But I was only used to use a phone for phone calls long ago.
Hmm.
Now I use it for everything. Laptop is
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll use it, but it's a big thing right now. You've got
But
this little thing that does everything in it. That's for a reason. They have us all sucked into this. If we
yeah.
don't if we don't correct ourselves and like go back to where we come from, where we are going, who we are in life, every day we don't ask ourselves these questions, we might get lost in this new world order, in this new way of living, and this in this comfort, consumption, materialism, and then it's hard to break away from it, and then you get lost. You get lost. You get severed from your true nature, from your spirit.
Mm.
You forget that God is within you. You forget that you have to listen to your heart that always knows right from wrong. You find yourself always learning everything you know from TV, from news that they put out, what they want you to know. The only reason we have Truth Table podcast and this style of journalism nowadays is because we've all discovered how much we've been lied to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks to awakening shows like this one, we get to realize that we've been lied to for a long time about
Oh
many
yeah.
things. Like the Bible has been rewritten by popes in power. History has been rewritten by conquerors and victorious people.
Yeah.
Education, man-made education. We're living in a man-made time, brother. We should have 13 moons and 13 months. You know this.
Yeah. 13
Uh,
moons,
but
13
they
months.
changed the 18th century, I believe. And we are discovering it all now. Who
Yeah.
knows if what kind of atmosphere we live in now? What
Yeah.
kind of cosmos? You
Well,
see me. I observe the sky every day. Yesterday, I asked myself a question: if the sun and the moon are right here, like right, so very close to each other yesterday, then what does that mean? The rest of the world is in the dark or something? I don't know. I'm just trying to ask a question. Or
yeah.
another one that popped into my mind: if they're so into engineering, geoengineering, they have claimed that they knew how to affect weather since 1952.
Yeah.
Then how
Yeah.
come they cannot make it rain on the fires in Alberta?
Yeah.
Because that's also another
Yeah.
show. That's another show, another agenda of its
Yeah.
own. And now, every day, you'll discover that they are suppressing efforts to put out those fires because they need it to carry out certain agendas, and so on and so on. But that's a whole other show.
And
I'm in the
and
middle of
hello.
exposing that whole agenda actually because it has to do with the Asmin agenda, and
Yeah.
the land grab agenda. So I'm in the middle of exposing all that right now,
Yeah.
actually.
And we'd like to say hi to Kirk. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us, Kirk.
Hey, Kirk. I
He's
think
saying
Kirk is
hello to
going
us.
today on Jane Shard. They're doing a show also, StreamYard, I believe. I'm not sure, but Kirk, he'll tell us. He's going on with Jane Sharp for Trudeau for treason to share out Kirk's story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, brother. Hey, Kirk. Hey.
But
We're just here exposing some truth.
but I mean, it just takes wisdom to figure all this out. Like someone did
Yeah,
a rain test. We look at it. We look at all the ingredients. We look at the effects of each ingredient. We know that the Amish don't get autism. They don't get vaccines. Everyone that's unvaccinated, none of them get autism. So that was, they deny that it
yeah.
their
That,
vaccines cause it, but it does. It does cause it.
that's another thing. Vaccinating with children now when they're born, right? I remember
Yeah.
we had a house birth, a home birth, over 17 years ago, right? And when my daughter was born, we decided not to vaccinate our child and have a home birth away from a hospital because of the cons and pros, the cons that outweighed the pros of those vaccines. There was no longer use for certain vaccines in the 21st century, simple as that.
Hmm.
My doctor asked, like, when was the last time you heard of this or that? Like 100 years? Why do they keep vaccinating for it? Like polio. You know, Bill Gates killed millions of people, maybe a
Yeah,
million of people with his polio vaccine experiments in the East.
yeah,
You see, he sent those polio vaccines here as COVID vaccines in the beginning. But aside from that, the children's vaccines. Now, what they do, because later on, after my daughter was about 10 years old, I was separated from my wife. She decided to vaccinate my daughter without my consent. I didn't know this until it happened. But that was for those child vaccines that you vaccinate your child for, not to have
yeah,
all these diseases in the future, right? Um, but um, so she did it without my knowing. And and what they do now, when you say, oh, we don't need this vaccine or that vaccine because that hasn't been seen for 100 years. Well, what they do now is they put two, three vaccines in one, so you can't avoid them.
yeah,
And they do the
M-
same
yeah,
same with the flu shot. When you go get a flu shot,
yeah.
well, there's three shots in one.
Yeah, the
That
MMR is probably the worst because they never tested them together. They tested them separately. So, they have
Yeah,
plausible deniability. That one's safe, that one's safe, that one's safe. But together, you got more mercury, more aluminum. The dosage, everything goes up when you combine the three. So that's why they tested them separately. We've been manipulated right from the
yeah.
scratch.
I mean, why push three in one? Because
Yeah,
you don't want to hear people arguing that they don't want this one or that one. You
yeah.
just all in one. Period. You
But when
know.
we get, yeah, when we get the measles, we bring all the kids together and get it, let everyone get it at the same time, get it over with. You're sick for a day, and then everything's fine. You got your
Yeah,
immune
for
system
some
working just
diseases,
fine.
we used to have some of these chicken pox parties and stuff. Yeah, you know, but going back to natural ways, like here on the island, we still have that. We have doulas. You can have a
Mhm.
home birth, all safe. But there's always risks. Like I rented a house close to the hospital in a little village in town, and thank God, because actually she had a problem. She was started bleeding, and she would have bled to death if we weren't close to help. That could happen. So
Mhm.
you have to kind of consider all your what could happen, what could go down. I know some ladies that were so brave, they had their child in their home on this little island, a couple hours away from a town or a hospital, and you have to take a ferry and a car to get there. So if you start bleeding, you're dead. If something goes wrong with the child, both die. Like, wow, that's risky, and I know people have done it. To avoid the child being taken away from your hands and taken to some other room, who knows what. Or the vaccines, you have to agree to them. The hospital won't take you unless you do. So
But
it's
they definitely control the science. They
another
they
thing that
dictate
popped
it.
into my mind with this. I ran away from a communist regime in Poland in the 80s when we had nothing and we were not happy. So I don't know what people are waiting for, because if you go back to the agendas of each liberals, NDPs, and conservatives, or the United Nations, or WF, or WHO, or Soji, Communist Chinese parties, whatever they're cooking up, all these things, I don't know what people are waiting for, because it's all part of the same agenda. And in Poland, when we had nothing and we were not happy, believe me, uh, there was
Well,
always alcohol and cigarettes. Vodka and cigarettes was always available 24 hours for 24/7. But there
well,
was food only 1 week per month, and lineups through the whole city. Food
you know,
cards,
you know
you
how they're
know.
going to make people happy? 5G towers, MMR,
Yeah, exactly. And you know
mRNA.
what? There will be no food. I bet you there will be alcohol and cigarettes available to keep
There'll be, yeah,
demoralizing and weakening the masses.
there'll be lots of crickets and cricket soup, and they're
Oh,
going
yeah,
to incorporate they're putting it in cereals. They're changing the names of the the crickets to Latin so people don't know what it means.
You know, they're
They
already lying on the
yeah
ingredients stickers on the food. They're
yeah
already not truthful about it. And another thing that's been cut in supermarkets during this inflation, like products weigh at this, they say at the store on the sticker that it weighs 250 grams. People weigh it at home and it's freaking 100 grams. You know what I mean? They do scams like that and they expose these stores, supermarket chains like
yeah
Walmart, superstores. And you go into a store, it's I don't know, it's like $8 for a kilogram of tomatoes, almost 10. That's like 3, 4 good tomatoes for a pound or something. You know, bread is like here, like $8 a loaf, and
terrible.
like whoa, how you supposed to get by? Everything's up, everything, but no one got raises, right? Only the politicians that pass these bills and laws and regulations, they get promotions and vacations right away after every bill passes Congress. By the way, Bill S-223, it went through its second reading, about to pass its third. That bill is one of the most dangerous bills in Canada. That bill will be like the WHO treaty. That bill will be the beginning of digital ID. That bill, they're already announcing all banks in Canada are going digital soon. I don't know if you got your notice. TD signed a contract with WF so that RBC, Bank of Montreal, and CIBC, and they're going digital soon. And like in other countries already happened, people wake up one morning to digital banking. No more paper money.
Yeah yeah
And what
and
comes with
it's
Bell S-223, if it passes, digital banking requires a digital ID. For the digital ID, you need 4 jobs. Four. That's the new vaccine status if that bill passes. 4 jobs to get that digital ID. That digital ID, you'll need it to have a bank account, a driver's license, a passport, to keep collecting your RSPs towards your retirement, and for your kids even to go back to school. If that bill passes, that's the WHO treaty, you
hmm.
know, pretty much. Uh,
Well, I know they're making their moves because like 30 or something candidates for the Mexican election were murdered, and then the winner was like the only survivor was a female Zionist, and the same in Venezuela. They finally beat the communist that's been basically making their lives horrible, and he doesn't accept the election. And then you have people that aren't going along with the wars that are getting shot. So and Trump being shot. I mean, they're just making all their moves right now.
oh yeah,
So
they are
this
right
is
now. They
the
are
year.
with the land grabs, brother, by the Métis,
Yep.
the Indigenous Nations Assembly of the Métis people, the half breed or zero breed natives that are taking over, becoming the biggest nation as part of that whole agenda. Right now, every day, land claims are being made. In Alberta, Danielle Smith claimed land for the Métis people. All of BC is under UNDRIP and Bill C-15. And I heard our Denman Island was just given away. And I saw Jagmeet Singh with the band chief recently, shaking hands here. All the tribes around here in BC are under the wings of United Nations and the federal government. UNDRIP is being installed as we speak. So Alberta, Vancouver, Denman Island, everything's day by day is being given back to them. And we're like, whoa. And they're like, don't worry, we're not going to kick you out. We don't know what's happening. Like, what does that mean? And they're all not real natives, first of
Hmm.
all. Without
You have
the without the treaty rights, they have rights for hunting and so on and others, but not rooted to the ground. They don't have the traditional treaty rights. And so now today we wake up and half of New Brunswick was just reclaimed by indigenous nations,
Oh, damn. You got
admin
a question.
nations.
You got a question here. What was that? Bill 223? Is that
S223, yes, that digital ID, digital
okay?
banking, that requires 4 jabs and digital ID for everything. A bank account, passport, driving license. To collect your RSPs towards retirement, you will need the digital ID as soon as digital banking is in.
You
Yeah.
know, and we'll have to do a show with Donald
Yeah, I know Donald from the East Coast, right? Donald
Yeah,
knows what's going on. He knows what's going on.
and
Yeah.
Kirk's due for another 11 shows.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta keep pushing. Since I met Kirk, I was just thinking about it like on my walk. It's I don't remember. It's been a year and a half, or maybe a year since Kirk came visit me and told his story here on the Truth Teller. My little daily show, and um, yeah, and we've been running with Kirk's story ever since, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, and we're gonna keep pushing it until it's heard loud and clear.
Yeah,
People are avoiding true facts because so many are involved that it's hard to spread the truth amongst our own people because
yeah,
the freedom movement has been infiltrated in the mass, just like our government.
yeah. And even the government of Ontario, where I live, they're going to give money, I think, up to 125 million or no, 125 million or billion. I can't remember now. But for the Métis, for the indigenous people.
Yeah, we got some people fighting against United Nations because they're really setting up in Ontario. With the smart cities are supposed to start in Peterborough, I heard, just like on this side in Edmonton. They
Uh,
already had meetings about it in Peterborough, and and lands are being, of course, claimed all over the country. You will now see every day new land claims by indigenous Métis nations, and you will see rise up of the true native people because we need to. We encourage all cowboys and Indians alike to unite nationwide. We need some troops, cowboys and Indians, because we have plans of how to carry things out, to bring it right to the men, right to the ledge grounds, to the cop shops, to the city halls, bring it right to the world. All we need is 100 good cowboys and Indians rather than 1,000 weak links. Solid, and then we can carry out and defend because I believe the First Nations, the true original people, will realize that if they do not defend against this agenda, this takeover, then they will lose their traditional way of life. The treaty rights are the human rights of the original people.
mhm.
And the liberals in the Congress got talking about how they want to abolish the treaties, just end them because they're a pain in the pain in the a. Really, they haven't even um, they haven't even honored one of those 500 treaties yet, and they're already reclaiming lands. By the way, every time you hear people reclaiming lands for the indigenous nations right now, every day you hear it. Danielle Smith started it like a week ago in Alberta. First land claim from 80 people in Canada. She did it, as she's asthma. So you hear it every day now, and just remember when you hear that indigenous nations reclaim their land, indigenous people, it is the work of United Nations and the federal government. The original people wouldn't call themselves indigenous
No.
now, knowing all this, because the word indigenous has been hijacked for their agenda. And also, it was a word invented by the government, really, the crown and so on, just like Aboriginal and and
Yeah,
and the,
yeah,
and First Nations. From what I know, native to the land, Indian or
yeah.
Asinistao Netoa, the
So
original
yeah,
people.
I'm not Aboriginal. I'm original.
Yeah, Yeah, that's good, bro. You
And
gotta be
everyone,
authentic.
and
Authentic.
we, yeah, we're all originals.
Yeah, I was called by someone in the freedom movement who has a gold prime media once a foreign freaking effing national who's half the effing problem in this country by a freedom fighter supposedly.
But I
You
think an
know,
original person, a native,
yeah, I'm
will
a one.
embrace wherever they are. Whether you're from Poland or not,
I'm a man of the land.
you're in Canada and you embrace the land. It's still God's land. It's still the same earth.
Yes,
It's just a
my
different
child is of the
geographical
land.
location.
My
Yeah,
daughter was born here. She could actually go and get a Métis card for $50.
but I
50
mean,
bucks,
yeah,
an
but I
hour
mean,
away from here. And
it's all
you get the Métis cards are sold pretty much across the street from the Masonic Lodge.
oh,
It's big
gracious.
signs and everything. And so far, all the Métis people I've seen in this area are as white as you, as me. Because to you, you can tell there's something in your blood. I am a white boy from Europe, you know. I'm not
Hmm.
from this continent even. But my daughter is of the land. I'm a man of the land. All people in this world were tribal people living of the land and guided by the stars, one point or another. So that's how we have to think. Now, indigenous was a beautiful concept,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was to bring us together, the
yeah.
medicine wheel, all the colors and directions, all the people, all the elements, and they hijacked everything good. They
Everything.
hijacked everything good, like they hijacked the Thunderbird, the sacred swastika, like they hijacked uh, um, the rainbow flag for the Plus community. That's an old pre-ancient rainbow prophecy flag that was hijacked and now is sprayed on sidewalks, on streets, on crossways. Drive cars drive over it. People walk, defy it,
Mhm.
and it's being used to carry out an evil agenda. At the same
Yeah,
time, they censor our prayers, like Turtle Island's medicine prayers and meditations, they censor the hell out of us, and not just me, other guys I know too. Same thing. You go on, and always there's stuttering, or they get cut off, or they have to come back. People that come onto my lives every day, it's just an innocent prayer. Um, People get kicked off not just from my lives, but entirely from Facebook when they come onto my life. They told me.
mhm.
I'm like, whoa, and then like every morning I see like six people on my live, but as soon as I press finish, it turned out there was 126 this morning. This morning there was 120 something people with us, and I did. Oh, by the way, I didn't see you even until I pressed the finish button. I didn't see you,
Wow,
and
really. Yeah, they
until
are
I
messy.
when I pressed it, I saw your comments.
I have
You
a birth
know,
certificate, Cheryl. I don't know if you're talking about me or
yeah.
Dawid.
Oh,
He's
oh.
asking if we have a birth certificate. I do. I do have a birth.
Does he have a who me? My birth certificate is from Poland. Why?
Uh, oh yeah, the Vatican. Yes, that's where it comes from. Yes, we're like
Yeah,
chat.
all roads lead to
Yeah,
Vatican. We live under the crown. See, Roman
yeah,
law is civil law, and that is
mhm,
Canadian law.
yeah, yeah,
So we live under the Vatican crown, I call it. Um, the Vatican crown, and therefore we have royal clan mothers and chiefs claiming freaking lands here.
yeah. And
Now, a
Vatican,
question I
Vatican
want
is
to ask all people a question. If we let United Nations and WF agendas carry out, which are land grabs, and they openly claim they will own 80% of all lands and waters by 2030. If we let that happen, what are we going to give to our future generations, our
yeah.
children? What if we have fires again? Are we going to have to ask United Nations and the corrupted government if we can use the water and on our lands?
It's hard. It's hard
Because
because
they will own it on paper, they will own it.
the problem is they planned this so meticulously such a long time ago. It's like we're waking up and there's a train coming right for us. It's like the last minute, the end of the game, the end game, and we're just waking up now, and they're medicating us from the sky. They're messing with our food. Even toothpaste is bad for our pineal gland with
Yeah,
our
even
connection.
Pepsi and suntan
Oh,
lotion is tempered with.
and Coca-Cola, and that's what
Suntan
I was.
lotion gives you cancer, I heard.
Yeah, aluminum and underarm
And
deodorant. I mean, it's
and
everywhere.
oh, deodorant too. I heard my father said don't use
Um,
it because it gives cancer. He heard somewhere. He watches a lot of learning channels, you know. You know, it's yeah, it's too bad, you know. Like things that are supposed to do something for us do the opposite. You know, just like in the court of law, unless law a big thick book,
oh,
you always be signing things in court that you think mean one thing, but really they mean another. That's how they write it, and you have to go literally into this book and freaking go through it and make sure that every number to the act and to the number of this and that. Look for the definitions when you're in a court case. I won 3 court cases self-represented because I know this. Again, we live
nice.
under Roman civil law. Um,
Yep.
when you don't know this, when they present things in court, they mean the opposite almost of what it says on the freaking paper
Yeah.
here. And when
Yep.
you have to look in here for the act, to the number, and to this and to that, and then oh, there's the definition. Oh shoot, I just signed
Yeah.
the opposite of what I thought. You
Hmm.
know, and it's all designed that way. Until you ask, you're not gonna be told.
Yeah.
You
When you
know.
go into court, you have to basically ask them, "Are you going to be speaking to me in Oxford English or you know or legalese,
Yeah, legalese.
laws dictionary? Which one are we using today? Because that then the judge has to admit that you're not a human being. Like
Yeah, it's
you
sort of
lose your
like Bill Gates,
status.
who was testing out his vaccines in 2006, then 2010 and 12, first in Sudan, Africa, and then in Pakistan and India in 2010 and 12, killing hundreds of thousands of people with his vaccine experiments. He was doing it all in third world villages where people didn't even know how to speak and write properly in their own language. Never
Yeah.
mind all these forms, consensus, liability forms, they had everyone sign before injecting them and killing them. They had everyone sign them. They were in English, all these forms. And someone asked, how are they supposed to understand these forms if they don't even understand their own language? And they were
Hmm.
told if they don't understand, they shouldn't have signed. And they all got a freaking grave for it, a grave, you know. Yeah, so that's a whole other story. I've got a whole
Yeah.
story on Bill Gates's agenda that started in 2006, ended up here right now. And now it's out of his hands. He's got other things he's doing now for WHO still, like
Yeah.
he was just bribing the Yakoma tribe in the Washington state. I wonder what happened. I wonder if they also went under, because WHO, United Nations, and the Crown, they all have their own agendas, and they don't vibe too well. They all want lands and waters on this continent for some reason. This whole colonialism is back, and everyone wants a piece. So the Crown and United Nations don't vibe too well. WHO is doing his own thing, and now Gates has been discovered in northern Saskatchewan. He's got properties there and some labs doing who knows what.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta let
He's,
people know. So someone goes and checks out what Bill Gates is up to in northern Saskatchewan. He has some properties conducting some stuff there.
oh yeah, he's buying lots of farmland, and
Yeah.
he's not a farmer, and he's advising on vaccines, but he's not
Oh,
a
he's
doctor.
a serial killer, in my opinion.
He's not a doctor, and he's involved with Monsanto's that made Agent Orange in Vietnam, which was started with a false flag at the
Oh
Gulf of
yeah,
Tonkin, and
the
when
stuff
they
he's involved with,
Israel,
brother. Like he
yeah,
seriously, he was involved with the Sudanese royal family and the Clinton
hmm,
Foundation and WHO in depopulating Africa in
yeah,
2006, in
yeah,
2010 and 2012, to try and cure. It was supposed to help children. It was for children, a vaccine, polio or something. that ended up paralyzing and killing hundreds of thousands, 125,000 kids. In Sudan, almost 1 million people died with his vaccines, and then he sent his experiments down our way. And in 2018, they already had COVID-19 um, program and response program. Already they had a cure plan as soon as they put out the news. And I remember that all aligns with a video that I saw in 2018 or 19 already. Donald Trump was signing papers for COVID-19 support fundings for $3 million. And that was before they made it public.
Mm.
So all of our prime
Yeah.
ministers, politicians knew of this coming before we
Yep.
all knew, of course.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
So
Israel's the one that fired missiles at the USS Liberty, which started off the Vietnam War. So Israel's always had their hands dirty. Of course, the Israel is basically the Rothschild families wanting their own army. So they made a deal with UK and to invade Germany to cause the German war, and that there's just so many lies and
yeah,
deception
nowadays
all
they're
through our
pretty much
history.
instigating a war between Islam and Christians.
Yeah, yeah,
Netanyahu is now the new fascist and Zionist of today, and
yeah,
Netanyahu, he made it all look. Do you remember? He made it all look when this new battle in Gaza started that Hamas attacked them. Remember? But no way Hamas would beat through their wall of armor um, with their little weapons. Um, Israel knew all about it. They let them come in and carry out that attack so that Israel had a reason to reply. And they, of course, did because that's part of their prophecy. 2,000-year-old Hebrew prophecy says
yeah,
that this year
yeah,
they will start an Islam Christian war, and it was supposed to start
yeah,
happening around the eclipse in April. Remember, we did a show on that.
yeah. Because
So
but Israel has Zionist has no loyalty to Judaism or to the Jewish people
yeah,
whatsoever.
they're pretty racist. I don't know if you heard
And
some of them
yeah,
speak. They don't totally would like to see everyone uh, destroyed, like
yeah,
all put them in gas tanks, burn them to the ground. They
but
all
yeah,
deserve. They all said basically they are the chosen race, and everyone else
yeah,
deserved to be
yeah,
burned to the ground.
yeah. Well, they use the Jewish people, but they're the power in the Vatican. It goes from the Rothschilds to Israel, and then Israel used Mossad and Jeffrey Epstein to compromise all the politicians, get videotape of them, forcing them to do something. Sometimes not forcing them, but
Yeah,
to get what they want, like at gunpoint, even they would get them to do, certain things. But they've got the movie stars, the sports people, they've got judges, and they used Epstein for that.
yeah,
And
and
their
the whole
hands are
Mason.
all over everything. But they're
The,
they're using the Vatican. They're the power behind the Vatican, which is the power behind UNDRIP, and
yeah,
it all goes right back to Israel,
and,
the
and
power
yeah,
behind
and it
Israel.
all funds the Asmin agenda, which is actually global wide. It's part
Hmm.
of the whole 2030 agenda,
Yeah,
and they want all indigenous people of every country on every continent. They want to do that everywhere, bro.
but
And that's how they grab
Israel's
land
trying.
all over the
Sorry,
world. Sorry.
Israel's trying to provoke everyone. I think because it's
Yeah.
biblical that and Turkey's threatening to invade, basically to attack Israel if they don't stop killing Palestinians.
Good.
So
Good.
Turkey is biblical from the north, the king from the north, and Russia from the so these are the two that are going to cross the river. Um, what's the name of that river again? I can't.
Uh. Uh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Armageddon. Armageddon. Damn, what is
Uh. So
Euphrates River? Euphrates.
there you
But
go.
it's supposed to dry up, and it has been drying up. But that's deliberate as well because of the dams they've been creating. They've been getting less water, and it's drying up.
Yeah.
I think it's
So do you see
Turkey that's
why a
responsible.
land grab agenda would make only sense global wide if they
Yeah,
are a global wide movement? United
yeah,
Nations, WF, and World Health Organization, World Health Economic Forum, United Nations, and BRICS, and all that. If
yeah,
they are all working together, then of
yeah.
course they are trying to grab the water and they're trying to depopulate globally. WHO made a statement in public. I don't know if it was meant to go public, but I have a person in Europe who's part of the European Union. She's always sent out to Davos and on those all those places, and she listens in, records everything, and sends it my way. Um, Now they openly said in one recorded gathering, con- some kind of congress, that it wouldn't hurt to depopulate the world by 35 to 45% because 50 to 100 years, water and natural resources will be scarce. And that's what they tried to, they actually put out some articles in the mainstream that try to suggest that that's actually a good idea. They suggest that in these articles, that it's actually not a bad idea, trying to convince people that it makes sense. I mean, holy crap, that is not the answer. And that's why you have this fentanyl uh, toxic drug overdose crisis. That's the number one killer in North America. Number
Hmm.
one killer, but they won't talk about it. You know, it's nothing compared to what COVID kills. COVID is like number 10 on the list of things that kill the most. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah.
still don't cure cancer for a reason. They
Oh,
already,
yeah.
it's because it's too expensive to lose that business of chemotherapy, while
It's
cigarettes and alcohol
disgusting.
are socially acceptable,
Yeah.
to keep you getting cancer. They sell things legally to get you cancer going.
Yeah, I had a friend who was in remission. He was, he was younger than me and a guitar player, and he got the shot, and the cancer went came out of remission, went full force. He got, like,
Yeah, because those
and he
shots lower
died,
your immune system
and
immediately.
it killed him fast.
Yeah, and when cancer comes back, we all know what happens. We've seen
Yeah,
many times. It just destroys the people immediately.
yeah,
And what these injections do, they lower your immune system completely, right? Um,
yeah. But people can get pH strips, and as long as you get the alkaline water 24/7, and they sell water, alkaline water. But almonds are alkaline, broccoli, all these things to raise your alkaline level and raise your pH level. So you've got an alkaline body, and it kills cancer to have an alkaline body. I'm worried about your water because it doesn't look good, and it
no.
they could be, you're on an island, so they could spray specifically for you.
Yeah,
you know?
we've been sprayed on for a long time, and I often record it. It's ridiculous how much we get sprayed. We have a 5G tower sitting here, a big one. And the chemtrails, like I told you, since I got here over 22 years ago, people have been talking about it nonstop.
Mhm.
And they have these towers made out of copper and crystals, you know, to protect themselves from this stuff. And I've always thought bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. But now who knows what's in my water? And not only that, there's people who've been threatening my life for exposing this federal and tribal corruption, literally threatening my life. Asmen and dogmen warriors and people from the freedom movement who are Illuminati and Masons, most likely, and Asmens, threatening my life, to shut up. Police even calls me or shows up to stop talking, the truth teller, you know. But I refuse to. And it's super easy to contaminate my water well. My well that just goes to my house only is right closest to the road, to the main road. You know, and when you walk into my driveway, it's the first one there on the right, just 10 meters in. Someone could come in at any time, like I was
Mhm.
threatened by these Asman warriors that they would come here, they would close and hurt me. They could come in, throw something in the well, and leave. No one would see them. It's simple. But they go out of their way. They pay thousands of our taxpayers' money to use these planes and spray everything.
Yeah, I would guess they're probably drones because I know Obama ordered 33,000 drones,
But
drone
we've
planes.
seen people proven already, they've recorded these planes on the ground before they leave. They have all these tubes and all these things attached to their
Yeah.
wings. Yeah,
Yep. I've
ready to
seen
go
that.
and spray. You know,
Yeah. I've
that's
seen that
already
too.
proven, yet they still do it, and yet we don't do anything about it. We know what the 5G towers are for, yet we do nothing about it. What are we waiting for? We should
Hmm.
take those towers down. I know
Yeah.
it's not
I know.
something we should influence people to do, but if
Yeah. Yeah.
animals respond to them the way they do,
Yep.
well, yeah, people are wonder why they are sick all the time. I don't know if you noticed. A lot of people in the last few years are always ill. I, for one, am always ill and sick, always complaining. Um, and
Well,
that's
we
just
know
the way
why they're
it is.
sick right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
See, I really want to test my water. I know you've seen it. You've seen the video of it. And it looks terrible. It looks like a chemical that doesn't bond with water. But I
yeah.
can only put out something about it once I test it.
Hmm.
But I should do that just for the sake of the better good of all mankind. I mean, this is happening to all of us, and then, someone
Yeah.
has to do it. Someone
Yeah.
has to test it. Someone has to do it.
So
Um,
we both got contacted by the Illuminati. I did as well. A few years back, though. I've been at this for a while, but just not um, on a stream or a podcast. But they told me they don't like what I'm saying, but they're not going to kill me.
well, when it comes to Illuminati, well, I know some of those Masons and Illuminatis are the same thing. The William Rothschild and someone also named Elon Musk contacted me a few times saying that they've been watching me and that we have together we could hold the power to change the world, and they actually hijacked a lot of the teachings of the First Nations, of the native people of these lands. And
Hmm.
a lot of native people have already addressed it to them, that because I talked to them for a while, and they actually are preaching about God inside of you, and about how we're all intertwined and interconnected. And like shit, they're hijacked our teachings, and the original
Yeah.
people have
Yep.
told them to give them back,
Yep.
and so I've been talking to them for a bit just to feel them out. And next thing you know, oh, the next step, they always, that where I unfriend them and block them and stop is when they give me numbers and an address to go to join the Illuminati Brotherhood. That's the next step. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no, that's where I have to go.
That's yeah. They didn't do that. They knew that I wouldn't join, so they didn't even ask because they just know. They know where
I
I
like to pull people's legs, and like Danielle Smith. The other day, I got into her Congress and her press release that she did for the fires for
stand.
Jasper. Where she did her fake crying and stuff the day
Oh
after
yeah.
she made the joke about Mountain Dew. We
Right.
all saw the fireball coming down on the into the mountains. Was that man-made? I don't know, because usually we don't have meteors hitting the ground and starting big fires. Also, an UNESCO site, well, land back, what you know, um, clearing land, chasing people out to what? Smart cities, land
They're,
grabs.
they're not
What is
like us.
going on? You
They're
know,
not human. They're not. I mean, humane. They're not like us at all.
well,
They do things that we would never dream of doing. We would never poison our children,
yeah,
our
bro.
friends, and our
Bro,
brothers and
that's a
sisters.
true crime against humanity, and they're getting away with it laughing. Look what they did, at the opening of the Olympics. They're
Mm.
laughing at what they're doing. And you know, the,
Yeah, I saw your
when
post
you
on
find
that.
out your own people like Danielle Smith, Olivier, they're involved, completely involved in it.
Yeah.
They're up to here in all of this. It's a holy crap. But after watching 9/11 happen and then finding out the truth behind it, nothing phases me anymore. That means they can stage and carry out anything. You
Yep.
know, if they can go and destroy a whole 2,000-year-old country, Iraq, and all of their history, freaking carpet bomb it, and get kill a guy who supposedly had weapons of destruction but didn't, you know, and do all that or pull a 9/11, then anything's possible.
It was
Oh
a demonstration of their power, absolutely, and also JFK. They showed, no one's safe. They,
yeah,
nobody,
yeah,
and I
and
see
not
it's
just
all
JFK.
science.
You know, there was Mandela, there was Gandhi, there was Malcolm X, there was Martin Luther King Jr., there was Bruce Lee, there was Bob Marley. You
Yeah,
know, all these
yeah,
people. Uh,
yeah. I still worry. I mean, I'm Micmac Indian, but as you can see, I'm turning white.
well, just like me,
I'm
I keep
becoming a
calling
white
it
white
silver
man.
highlight. Silver highlight.
Soon I'll be as white as you, brother.
Well, at least what, like you said, we're not those evil people.
No.
That's why we stand up against that evil corruption. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's federal and tribal because the band chief council system is corrupt, working with all governments. You know, J.D. Anderson, he's up to something now with a few people in the movement as well. He's got a new initiative he's coming out with, and he's one of the biggest, Asmin mothers in this country. There's still a lot of things coming, and a lot of things will be transpiring from day to day now, and they're moving fast. They are moving
Yes.
fast.
Yes.
It's like every day you awaken, there is a new claim, land claims, new facts about why those fires were not put out properly or on time, where people were being kept away or
Yep.
chased out of their lands entirely. you
Yep.
know, why things that could have been avoided were not. Did you know that Russia offered
Yep.
Canada water bombers, and
Yep.
Canada said no because they're allies with Ukraine at the moment? And now Trudeau, last week or 2 weeks ago, sent $500 billion to Ukraine, more. And at the same time, we have 400,000 people in the street, Canadians. The number one killer is that overdose crisis.
Yeah.
More people resort to Walmart's $1 stores and food banks than ever. Inflation's up. People are claiming lands, losing lands, and the country's burning down. National parks, historical places, Jasper and Golden, and the guy is in Tofino at some surf resort. I used to live in Tofino. It's a surf town for rich people. There's a big Masonic lodge there, and he also loves to go there and hide out all the time. It's a couple hours away from where I am actually. I was trying to get a convoy to go there, but nobody wanted to. Uh, and he's also connected to Haidegwai, and he's also carrying out the United Nations agenda, like Jack Ming, like Polivier. They all have their nations to bribe. Jack Ming had BC and Northwest Territories. Polivier had, mid country, also the east. Trudeau had the Inuit up north and the Ontarians. Polivier also had the Algonquins, all pushing the same land grab agenda to go under the wings of the federal government and the United Nations. And so it is. So it's happening every day. Um, I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up. If laughing in our face with that opening of the Olympics, what they are, what they are able to achieve, and how far they're able to go, with that list we read to you of what's in the injections, what's in the air we breathe, what's in the water we drink, what's in the medicine and food we take. And that's not enough for people to wake up. That's how sedated they have us. You know, now that
Mm-hmm.
I think about all this, I've been noticing that I've let my house go last few months. I don't care so much about cleaning it up properly. I attend to a lot less things. I don't have as much energy. I'm always wanting to take a nap. I'm always not feeling well every other day. I have heart complications. And, for those who don't know, and I know a lot of people will criticize me, and I feel sorry for you, and I
I've
pray
been,
for people all the time. But I woke up after my first two shots in
I think I'm
2000.
having the same symptoms. I'm feel the same achy, like I'm losing the feeling in my arm. I'm sleepy all the time, no energy. So
My arms are always falling asleep, legs too,
yeah,
and I'm always low on energy. I always want to lie down, and once I do, I'm down. I put things away for another day all the time, chopping wood, fixing the greenhouse, this that. You know, I I don't have that energy. I'm always like, no, no, no. I never been like this before. Never. I had energy, a lot of energy, and I always used to pick every little thing up. You know. Now I don't have that energy anymore. And I want to say, I woke up in the fall of 2020, just after my second shot. Okay. So I did have two. And I've said it many times. People still are surprised when I say it, but it's true. And people are surprised with what I know that I have. We were all hypnotized. We all woke up at different times. And the second shot, before I had it, I was trying to uh, ration with my doctor, trying to come help me to make that choice because I was already waking up after the first one. I
hmm
started seeing something wrong. I started hearing the truckers getting ready. I started joining the movement at the end of 2020. And my doctor that joined the freedom movement after, she joined with Stephen Dr. Malthouse, the Canadian Health for Free Health, and back the Vax Bus with Charles Hoff and Stephen Malthouse. She joined them in that movie they made, Uninformed Consent. After her first shot, she quit and joined the freedom movement, but she talked me into that second one. I remember sitting with her trying to ration. What should I do? What should I do? I really don't want to. And she said, I should. I really should. But she did not go for that second one herself. I woke up right after, but I've done a lot of research into it that the first two shots were those polio vaccines Bill Gates sent out
yeah,
west in the beginning because he wanted to get rid of already vaccines in stock in his factory that he didn't want to lose billions of dollars of investment. So he sent polio vaccines out west as the first COVID shots. That's why they don't want to claim the first two anymore. They say now you have to have four in order to have a status. The first two don't count anymore. And uh, and now uh, also they used to say, I don't know if you don't remember, that the first one was a placebo because they needed to put a placebo to see how it would work in a human body as part of the experiment. So
yeah.
also after the first two shots, I have a family doctor who was the first one awake of all people I know. I didn't listen to him. He put me on ivermectin for 8 days, half almost three-quarters of a teaspoon daily, and he guaranteed me a detox from those first two. But he said if you had three or more, there's not much they can do for you. I know
hmm
some people who drink ivermectin every day, but I know if you take after the first shot or two, if you take ivermectin for 8 days straight, you can rid your body of those things. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If nanotech technology or technology got into my body, you forget about it. But bro, it might be in yours. The other day I saw my friend out in the Atlantic while we're on a live drinking a Pepsi. That was just before I got to tell him about the experiment I saw, and then it came out everywhere. I'm like, oh no, don't drink that, and you know, on job, proud to be pure blooded on this t-shirt. drinking Pepsi. I'm like, oops. you
Yeah.
know, you know, we have to drop that prejudice against jabbed and unjabbed. You
Yep.
know, of course, those people who still wear masks and still insist that we're idiots for not getting jabbed, those are, sorry, but people who are lost and confused, they will never change, I don't think. Um, we have to drop the prejudice against people who are awakened but have succumbed to a shot or two or even three in the past. They're on number 8 right now in my region. 8 plus that 3-in-1 flu shot they suggest you take. So whether
Yeah.
you take the vaccine or not, the flu shot will have what you need.
Yeah.
Now it's in our foods, in our waters, in our airs, in our vegetation, in our animals. And that whole avian flu, that's a money grab. That's a scam. They've done that before. Remember about a decade ago? They ended up killing off so many birds. Turned out later
Yep.
that they didn't have to. They didn't
Yep.
have to actually kill them. I'm
Oh
sure they
yeah.
knew that before.
They want to kill the chickens, but they're not going to kill any of the other birds.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
ostrich.
That's strange, huh? That's strange.
Well, God put us here. God is using us, um,
That's
and
light
we're
work.
obeying. We're obeying. We're doing. We're compelled to be here. We're not here by choice. I don't want to. This isn't my goal in life to do this. I just know that we have to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
God
me too,
compels
brother.
us.
Before this whole pandemic, I used to spend my days on the beach in the summer, all day sometimes with my daughter or girlfriend, and we have a lake and ocean here. Go to the ocean, then go wash up at the lake all day, right? I haven't been to the beach to spend a day, unless to go say hi to the water, since 2021 because I don't have it in me unless someone comes to visit and I want to show them around. I don't have it in me to go sit on the beach and enjoy myself and get a suntan while the fucking agendas are being carried out. I'm not gonna lie on the beach and suntan. Sorry, I'm gonna go
No,
on
that's
and expose some more. Now we need to gather cowboys and Indians
yes, we
nationwide.
do.
Cowboys
Yes.
and Indians.
Yep.
People all alike, farmers and regular people, patriots, freedom warriors, truth tellers, people who
Hmm.
are true to the game, never were in it for the money, for their platforms, for donations, never asked for a dollar, always stood to. There is many still, I know. We need only 100 people, cowboys and Indians, and we will take back the farm. The farmers will rise, and we will go back and we will do that which the freedom movement is afraid of, which is going right to the parliament buildings, right to the city halls, and right to the cop shops and serve them with what they deserve. We are not afraid. We are going to stand at every parliament building and say we never voted for WHO, United Nations, or WF, or CCP parties, or Soji Education.
Yeah.
Someone has to. Otherwise, if we don't take a stand for our rights and freedoms as they're
Hmm.
being taken away from us, then our children will inherit that future in which they can't.
And we want to turn our skies from that to this.
Yeah.
You know, from that to the way it was.
Yeah, but as soon as skies are blue like that, they won't leave it alone. They won't leave it alone. An hour later, I come out and I make videos in which I say, you F this, you F that. You can't leave it alone, can you? You can't leave it alone. No, they can't. They
Yeah. Just
can't.
leave it alone. We don't need
Especially,
help.
I noticed as I follow the moon cycles because of
Yeah.
the what I study, the native studies, and also I am one of the Union of Nations keepers of the sacred flame of the eighth fire. I carry the sacred eighth fire ash bundle, and the original ash bundle of the eighth fire that was lit in October 23 in Mexico. So I watch the moon cycles as every moon, full moon, we have 8 fire continuance ceremonies with the union of eagle, Quetzal, condor, and hummingbird, and the warriors of the rainbow worldwide. It's a world peace movement, and every full moon we conduct ceremonies, fire ceremonies. And so I watch the moon cycles, and every time we get close to full moons and we're about to mark a new moon, and tell people that it's, for example, the seventh or eighth out of 13 to coming, you know, the return to natural time, 13 calendars, people are still in the old calendar, in the man-made calendar, running around the man-made clock like a bunch of rats or a mouse in a freaking thing, in a wheel. That's what people in the city are doing. That's what they're designed to. If you're sitting in a 200 floor hotel room, for example, through a glass window looking at the city at night, it's all designed like a freaking game. People moving
Mhm.
around, birds moving around, lights, all designed. Everyone running around, making sure they're there at this time, they're at this time, they're at that time. Boy, and we've been lied to because there's 13 full moons every year, not 12. But they call that 13 moon blue moon because they say it's once in a while moon. You cannot see it every 2 3 years. You can see it. Really? You can see it every year if you watch the moon cycle. That's
Yeah,
why they cover the skies so you cannot actually see it. You cannot actually prove it sometimes. And just before it's full, it's gone. You can't see it. You can't prove it.
yeah. Well, we like Donald says, we're doing this for the children. Uh, you know that they
Yes, and
they
those
give
still
us our
unborn,
strength,
and those still unborn, yes,
and
because
they,
all our
yeah,
choices and decisions we choose to make, bro. Now that we know what's going on, the choices and decisions we make will ripple into the next generations, affect those still unborn. You
yep,
know, um, and all our choices and decisions have consequences. We
yep,
must think of those before we make choices and decisions. And
yep,
don't let anyone ever tell you what to do, where to go. When you make choices and decisions in life, where you go and where what you do and what you say, that is only you. No one else should be telling you what to say, what to do. We don't need to be told what to do, taught how to think for ourselves. You know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
that's it. And again, it's sort of like if you want to find the God that made man, stop following on around the God that man made.
yeah,
Like the time, like education, like his story that's been written by every conqueror, the Bible, the one a man-made set of rules and rituals and books. Come on. You know, they take away your connection from your true nature. That's one of the main things they do to conquer. First,
yeah,
separate and divide.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and that's what they want to do again by putting people in 15 in smart city districts.
yep,
Our communication, we have so many means of communication nowadays, but so much less actual personal communication, you know but we don't cross. Supposedly we're up at the moon, but we can't cross the street to greet the neighbors. We are so fucked up. Sorry, we text rather than call to avoid that personal, connection. We are becoming more and more disconnected. That's why interconnectedness prayers every morning are important, are healthy for you. You remember where you come from, who you are. You start embracing and honoring and making things make you extremely happy. Such things as first light, the first morning birds, the sunrise is a ceremony of its own, a new
hmm,
life, a new
right.
beginning, and people just don't even look at that. They don't have time to be
Yeah,
connected. They don't
just
have
like
time to be.
our seasons,
Yeah,
like spring is, birth. It's the beginning.
yeah.
When
See,
things
New Year
grow.
is supposed to start April 1st,
Yeah,
spring equinox. The
yep.
last month of the original year was March, I believe.
They
And the
messed with
first
everything.
April 1st, when all things come to life, not in the middle of winter when everything's dead. New
But it's
Year.
it's like sorcery. It's like the devil's work, because
Yeah,
only the devil would know to
it,
change the standard tuning of music.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is what I
They
found
have
out.
done that in the 50s. They started tuning it to a negative, bad
Yeah,
frequency. That's why I conduct my meditation prayers every morning in the 432 love
yeah,
healing frequency that ancient Egyptians and Greeks used to do.
yeah.
We
Well,
have to
this show,
use those frequencies against them. They use sounds and frequencies in movies and radios all the time to suppress us. All
our
the time.
music, our music here is 432. I
Good.
mean, it's
That
our silent weapon.
it opens your heart. You
Yeah.
know, it is a healing frequency. It allows
Oh,
you
yep.
to
It,
be to feel with your heart, to speak from your
it's in
heart.
balance with nature. And as soon as I found out about it, I started deleting all my music and started rewriting and just started uh, writing 432.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So,
important. It's
and
important to
this,
rise in
it,
that frequency
yeah,
right now.
it's a,
You
it's
know,
a, it's a secret weapon.
Albert Albert Einstein and Tesla long ago foretold that the future tools and devices will be sounds and frequencies. They said that long ago.
Hmm.
Those were two scientists who knew about the existence of a spirit within us and all things, all living, breathing things, trees, animals, plants. You know, a great Albert Einstein quote goes, we have to widen our circle of compassion for all living beings and all of Mother Nature and her sacred beauty, because the soul given to each and every one of us is moved by the same great spirit that moves all universe, all life. And Tesla said, we are all connected. You know,
Yep.
and
You know,
those are
they
other people who knew too much and disappeared, kind of.
they destroyed his life. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But a lot of times they'll steal all the information, all his documents, all his research, and use it for themselves and try to turn it into a war tool.
yeah, Illuminati, Cabal, Masons, you know, the government, like the Olympics and all this stuff they do, they program people with sounds
Yeah.
and
Yep.
images and frequencies. Because
Yep.
those pictures you record with your eyes get stuck in your mind if they're
Yep.
the wrong pictures, you know.
That's
And if,
true.
again, if you don't pray every day and conduct that interconnectedness, purifying prayer, then you are always stuck in that frequency and in
Hmm.
that poison. You don't let yourself connect with your true nature. Then you get lost in their new world order. You know, yeah. So
Yes, sir.
I think that sounded like an ending to a show
I think so too. I think
because
we a
personally,
lot.
we have a lot of topics we could touch on just alone from the things we mentioned today because they all connect, right? They all do
Yeah.
connect. Yeah,
Isn't that
and
something,
so
eh?
but every one of them is pretty much we could do a show on, Israel and Gaza, the whole Ukraine
Yeah.
and Russia war, the whole fires, the land grabs, the Asmin agendas, we just covered Monsanto products and the components in the cloud
Yeah.
city and
Yeah.
in the rain found and in the jobs, and in the food, and on the farms. So we know all this, right? We know all this. We spoke about a lot of things that are just horrible. And if everything we're saying is true, then everyone should fear right now. Everyone should
Yeah.
be in fear and panic if they love their children and the grandchildren and care about their future and their kids to come, then they should
Yeah.
be in panic right now. I
And
wonder when Canada will rise because Poland did not
yeah. Yeah.
until
You
until we
don't
had
want
not,
anyone.
until we had nothing and were locked down, had police hour ratings, and that's when people stood up. About everyone, from a child to an elder, was out in the street. I was an 8-year-old kid throwing stones at the police. on the front line, solidarity movement, you know, uh,
Hmm.
and we took it down. But the Pope John Paul had a little helping hand, a big helping hand, and Reagan in collapsing the communist regime at that point. Um, but it also all the people had enough. But when we had nothing and we're not happy, well, that's too late. When a regime is already implemented,
Yeah.
brother, it's already late, too late, a little too late, because then you have a civil war, a revolution, a rise up of the people. But we don't want that. We want to avoid it and catch them while they're doing this and rid of them.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
we stand up for a country, we are
More
more.
hopeful.
They are few. They are few. We are more. If we stand up for a country, we can kick foreign elites out of here. And that ruins all of their agendas, all of their support. All we have to do
Yeah.
is rid of foreign entities. I believe we Canadians can do that. Rid of foreign elites
Yeah.
and their agendas. Because none of their agendas is here to help Canada prosper. None.
And what we
I
talk about is it's disturbing, like the ingredients here. And we're not trying to scare anybody. We're just trying to. We just want you to know. We want you to know the truth. We want you to know the
Yeah,
information that we've
everyone
got.
is welcome to do their
Yep.
own homework. We always suggest
Absolutely.
people do their own homework because we
Yep.
deliver what this is our truth. We know we are all one circle, and everyone. Let's say you have an object in the middle while we're on the circle. Everyone
Mhm.
sees that object from a different point, perspective, angle, but everyone is right.
And we're
It
here
is,
because we care. We care about
and
everyone.
yeah, everyone has should do their own homework. And the reason we're
Mhm.
speaking about it now is because it's all over the place. They're not hiding it. It's
Well,
easy to
Dawit,
prove. Yeah.
it's been another great show. If you look, there's all our shows on our X, and I'm starting to. X is not letting me live stream anymore.
Hmm.
So I'm live streaming on YouTube and Facebook so far.
And we have
And
to be careful with YouTube. They delete your videos if you talk about because it's
yep,
under WHO. So we'll
but with
see.
the chat I'm getting from Facebook and YouTube, so I know we're there. So they
Okay.
have to shut us down. As long as someone is chatting with us, then we're still good. But hope to see you all next week. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us at the Truth
Yeah.
Table.
Yes. Thank you very much, brothers and
Thank you, Howard,
sisters. And Paul, thank you very much.
my brother.
Maybe I'll just say a few words, if you don't mind. Few
That would be
words.
great. Thank you.
Thank you, Great Spirit, for letting us talk our truth. Um, Thank you for aligning us. And we come here to speak our truth with respect and honor, calm, relaxed, gentle, and we have no bad intentions. Everyone has the opportunity to check everything. We rise in truth and honesty. We're bound to do so. We are not here to mislead. We are here to help the future generations that are innocent. We are responsible for letting all this happen up to the point it got to. So let us, the ones with the white hairs, let us fix the problem for the children and those still unborn. Let us stop foreign entities and cowboys and Indians already unite across the whole country and stand up against Pharaoh and corruption and tribal corruption. Together as one, we can save this country. Let Canada be Canada. Creator, help us with our daily struggles that are naturally preceded by all change, all preceded by change, struggle. Help us with our daily struggles and accept one another as we are, as we become the change you need and seek. And lead by example by dropping our fears and egos, by walking in harmony and balance, by accepting one another, coexisting, stepping into the light, truth, and awareness with open hearts. Let our hearts be our guides. Thank you. for letting us speak in a good way. We honor you and respect you, and we thank you, and we're here to help you and actually answer the call of Mother Earth. We thank you. Hi, hi.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time at the Truth Table.